Hi, I'm Abby Prince, the Director of Program Quality and Management at Leadership.
And I'm Tanya Williams, Curriculum Specialist at Leadership. We are reviewing the higher principles of resilience, and we're starting with reflection, meditation, and prayer. Mahatma Gandhi says, "In the attitude of silence, the soul finds the path in a clear light, and what is elusive and deceptive resolves itself into crystal clearness. Our life is a long and arduous quest after truth." Reflection, meditation, and prayer is an opportunity for you to be still and a chance to be with no agenda. It's a personal experience, and where you do it doesn't matter. It's the pause that refreshes us and gives us a chance to be in no judgment, in complete acceptance to what is. And there are 10,000 ways to do it, and none of them are wrong. And we'll talk about that in a second. How does it contribute to your building of your resilience? It reconnects us to something more stable that can exist within or outside of ourselves. And it has the potential to ground us in our values, offering a stable core that we can return to when crisis occurs. It's a chance for us to, again, be still inside. How to practice. You can be in a reflection, prayer, or a meditation by journaling, practicing a walking meditation, just being in observation of your thoughts and practicing stillness, saying particular affirmations, doing some affirmative journaling, or practicing prayer in your particular faith tradition, and taking a chance to be still in nature. You can absolutely try it now as well. Try a 5-minute meditation practice. As you do this, you'll have fewer thoughts as you practice. It's absolutely okay to notice what comes up, and as often is said in meditation practices, treat it like a feather and let it come and go lightly. Again, there are no wrong or right ways, and you don't have to judge yourself as you do it. You got 5 minutes right now? Why don't you go ahead and set your timer and practice now.
Our next principle of resilience, gratitude. A number of people have said this quote: "Gratitude turns what we have into enough." It is a great way for us to start thinking about having a practice of gratitude. And that quote helps us understand that gratitude is a positive emotion. It helps us to recognize the blessings that we receive, but also just the things that we have, and be in a state of gratitude about them. It's not indebtedness. Gratitude actually is a much purer feeling. It's not about being grateful because someone has given us something, but rather it's just having an air or having a feeling of gratitude. It flows without expectation. It is not outcome dependent, and gratitude is non-conditional. How does gratitude contribute to your resilience? Research studies show that having a feeling of gratitude offers better health outcomes, including feelings of well-being, positive moods, and better self-esteem. It also regrounds and recenters us, helping us put things into perspective. How can we practice gratitude? We can say thank you in the morning as we awake for the 5 people in our lives that we might be grateful for in that moment. We can say thank you at the end of the day, really pondering life's pleasure, experience, and the lessons from that day. Know that what we focus on expands, And so if you want to focus on gratitude, know that there will often be more things to be grateful for. Be specific when you offer your gratitude. Notice the small, seemingly insignificant things and have a grateful heart for those as well. And it's always great to be generous with your gratitude and sharing your gratitude with others. And so we want you to give it a try right now and think about who or what you're grateful for in your life. If it's a person, go ahead and send that person a text and let them know why you're grateful for them. If it's just something in your life, feel free to share that on Facebook about what you're grateful for in this very moment. Our next higher principle of resilience, compassion. Compassion, what is it? Compassion is the ability to feel another suffering and try to relieve it. When you offer compassion to another, it is mutually beneficial because it also elevates your own mood. We have to recognize that having a compassion practice is actually really daring, because while we have compassion for others, we also have to practice having compassion for ourselves. How does it contribute to your resilience? It gives us an opportunity to relax and to actually allow what's real. It slows us down from that self-protecting or blaming energy and invites us into another way of being. How should we practice compassion? We can meditate on compassion. We can meditate on having compassion for those that we love, people that we don't know, even people who we consider a little bit difficult. We can consider an opportunity to practice compassion as sending a silent bless you or I wish you well to people that we might pass as we go about our day. And we can serve others without expectation of any kind of return. We can really practice and know that the joy is in the serving. We invite you to try it now. Who in your life might you want to offer more compassion to right now? And as you consider that, we want you to think about how you would do that and what it might look like as well.
We're going to talk to you about another one of Leadership's 7 higher principles of resilience, which is acceptance. And I'll start first with this quote from Wayne Dyer, which says, "Enlightenment is the quiet acceptance of what is." And I find there's so much peace in that quote and so much acceptance in it too, as we think about just being quiet in those moments and thinking about the world around us and what is acceptable to us. As we dig deeper into acceptance and to define it, I just want to point out that acceptance focuses on the now versus the past or the future. Acceptance sees things as they are and not as we wish for them to be. It helps us stay grounded in the current moment and in the present. Acceptance engages with the imperfect, the undesirable, and the uncontrollable. It allows us to let go of those things beyond our control and to just stay current and stay present with the things that are affecting us now. Acceptance contributes to our resilience by pointing out to us that what we fight, we get attached to. That thought suppression enlarges those things that we're fighting against and makes them bigger and harder to fight against. Acceptance also allows us to learn from our failures. And lucky for us, it converts those experiences into successes. There are lots of ways to practice acceptance, and I'm so grateful for that. One of them is to have fewer preferences so that we can be more accepting to the world around us. As a recovering control freak, this is a really valuable lesson to me, and being accepting of what is happening to me and not trying to control a situation that I walk into and leading to my own disappointment. Acceptance allows us to choose and know our priorities carefully. When we accept ourselves, we can recognize that disruption does not have to define us, but it gets back to that point we made earlier, that it can convert our successes into learning lessons for us. As we try to be less critical, because too much criticism causes people to run away from us, and if not physically, then emotionally. And neither one of those things are good for us when we need our support systems around us. Acceptance invites us to ponder our finiteness and who and what we love. Love finds its greatest intensity when it's rooted in acceptance and finiteness, and we need that love in our lives. I will invite you to try acceptance in your life now by considering this question. If I were in 100% acceptance about what is going on in my life, I would what? And as I think about this question for my own self, I think about the world around us and what we're dealing with now in this time of pandemic. There are things beyond our control, certainly, and that can be really frustrating when we think about what the present might look like and what the past has led us here. But if we spend time thinking about what is happening right now, there are things that we can do to be in acceptance of to make the world around us better. This second question digs a little bit deeper as we consider if we were in 100% acceptance about what is going on in our lives, we would be able to what? And again, I think about the world around us and the things that we are limited to right now, the plans that have been canceled, but there are still things that we can do to connect to our communities, to bring joy to the world around us, and to accept what is right now beyond the things that we can control. I ask you to spend some time considering what that acceptance looks like for you right now. What is something that perhaps you're feeling resistant to? That is something where you can focus your acceptance right now. Our next higher principle of resilience, which is meaning and purpose. And we start with a quote from Viktor Frankl, which is, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." That is to say, meaning and purpose make our lives bearable. So even when our circumstances are difficult, it helps to think of them within the framework of what gives our life meaning and purpose. So what is meaning and purpose? As we think about meaning, we think that some people believe in God, some might believe in nature or religion, perhaps spirituality or science. Some might believe in work or family and community, or in the moment and what is happening around them right now. Purpose is the larger reason of why we take time to do the things that create meaning in our lives. And these two elements create a sort of symbiotic relationship as one gives to the other as you consider your meaning and purpose. How does meaning and purpose contribute to your resilience? As we consider those, think about how the things you believe in become a sustaining force in both good and hard times for you. I often find that when I'm feeling out of sorts and grumbly about the world around me, those are the times when I haven't been dedicating time to the things that provide meaning and purpose in my life. And that when I refocus myself on what those things are, I'm better suited to face difficult times and feel restored. And I bet I'm not alone in that. There are many ways to practice meaning and purpose in our lives, both as we consider our relationship with others and our relationship with ourselves. In our relationship with others, we consider how we appreciate others' struggles, how we come closer to others, how we connect with them and accept them, and even forgive them and contribute to them. In our relationship with ourselves, we think about how we are hopeful and thankful, how we can let go of small things, how we can be willing to change and seek solace in the world around us, and recognizing that our meaning will evolve over time. Try it now. Consider for a minute what gives you meaning and purpose, and how are you connecting to that? Perhaps you can write down some thoughts about that now and what you will do to connect with your meaning and purpose. Maybe it's taking a walk in nature or spending time with a worship service, even if that's online for right now, or being more intentional about your time with loved ones. The next higher principle of resilience, which is forgiveness. We start with this quote from Robert Mueller, which says, "To forgive is the highest, most beautiful form of love. In return, you will receive untold peace and happiness." And what a delightful feedback loop that is, honestly, when you're able to give something to someone else, but you can get something back in return. What is forgiveness? It's a voluntary choice that you make that's a gift from you. The forgiveness is really for you and not for the person that you are forgiving. It allows you to let go of the past and of anger, resentments, and hurts. Please note that some deep and fresh hurts might take time to forgive, and that's okay. How does forgiveness contribute to your resilience? It doesn't justify, excuse, or condone the wrong that was done to you. It doesn't turn you into a doormat and allow someone to continue to do something repeatedly to you over time. Holding a grudge often gives an instinctual comfort zone to the owner. So know that when you're walking into a situation where you're holding a grudge against someone, that gives that other person a comfort zone unintentionally. Stress caused by holding a grudge affects you physically and emotionally. Forgiveness lets others know that you no longer wish to be in a state of hostility with them. It's kind of a release of that anger that you might be holding between yourself and another person. And it forgives you from that self-defeating energy of resentment. We only have so much energy to give, and so it's good when we can let go of those resentments so that we can put our energy towards good. There are lots of different ways to practice forgiveness, and I really like this mini forgiveness practice. If you could consider someone that has hurt you or caused you pain, and imagine what that emotion, those emotions that you might have associated with that hurt are. Maybe it's feelings of anger or resentment or sadness. How are you physically feeling as you think about that person that has caused you pain? Take note of your thoughts. Are you thinking hateful and spiteful thoughts perhaps about that person? Start asking yourself, who is suffering because of this? Have I carried this burden long enough? And am I willing to forgive? If you answered no to these questions, that's okay. Give yourself the patience to work through what you need to for that forgiveness to take place. But if you are ready to let go, say that you are breathing in the acknowledgement of that pain and breathing out the forgiveness and releasing the burden from your heart and mind. Try forgiveness now. Take some time to think about who you should work harder to forgive in your life. Perhaps you can practice that mini forgiveness exercise from the previous slide. And we're going to talk about celebration and joy. We turn to this quote from Corita Kent, which says, "Celebration is a kind of food we all need in our lives, and each individual brings a special recipe or offering, so that together we will make a great feast. Celebration is a human need that we must not and cannot deny. It is richer and fuller when many work and then celebrate together." I think this is so fitting since we often celebrate with great meals and sharing that together. And so I like to think of celebration as an ingredient and a special recipe that we are all offering to each other. What is celebration and joy? These two elements stop the downward spiral of negative thoughts and focus them on the gifts that are around us. It helps us to recognize that life might not be perfect, but there are many moments to celebrate within our lives. It doesn't remove the adversity, but it refocuses our attention on the joyful things around us. How does celebration and joy contribute to your resilience? Well, it connects us to others on a very human level. Just as we all suffer, we also experience joy. And so sharing that celebration and joy together helps to multiply that celebration and joy. How to practice celebration and joy? I would ask you to envision a celebration that you have been a part of. Maybe you were on the planning committee, or maybe you attended a celebration for someone else, or maybe the celebration was for you. Spend some time remembering the food, the music all around you, the decorations, the people who were there that you might have talked with. Maybe you have some pictures of that celebration that will help enrich your memory. Consider the emotions that you associated with that celebration. Perhaps feelings of excitement and nervousness, maybe happiness and anxiousness as you were walking into that event, as you were anticipating all that was to come. As you think about this event and the emotions associated with it, what can you bring into your daily life to remind you of how that event made you feel? Maybe you have a picture that you can prominently display from that celebration that will remind you how that experience felt for you. Try it now. Find something to celebrate today. This could be something small or big. Maybe you're wearing a favorite shirt or having a favorite dinner tonight. Maybe you got a great night's sleep or had a really productive meeting today. No matter what it is, celebrate it in a way that feels special to you. Maybe that's a dance party, a cake, a phone call to someone to talk about it. Find a way today to celebrate joy to yourself or someone else through celebration. And so with that, we have now discussed 7 higher principles of resilience. And there are 7 days in the week. So as you start a new week, perhaps consider focusing on one of these higher principles for each day of the week so that you can deepen your understanding of resilience and practice it better in your own life.